Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah. So that little looping thing at the beginning, that's my check to make sure I actually have audio going, because I don't want to talk to nobody for an hour and never be heard. That's like what crazy people do. They just talk to themselves for hours and hours and hours. I need to not be a crazy person is what I need. So I'm working on a game here, and I'm going to demo it in just a moment. My name's Eric. I'm happy if you feel like joining me on one of these sessions. I used to have a schedule. I used to follow it pretty semi-religiously. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I do like this recording what I'm doing thing and talking about it, and I do notice that, you know, like 5 to 10 people will watch these things, or at least maybe the first part of it. So that's great. I'm happy about that, and I think there's some value in talking as you work. Not all the time, but some of the time, for sure. Kind of keeps me from doing anything too off in the weeds. I can feel people getting impatient. I can feel some version of myself watching me and getting impatient with stupid things I'm doing that might tickle an itch but aren't moving me further along. And I'm here to finish this game called the Godkiller. And it's going to take me more than 278 days, which is the number of days I've worked consecutively and made some kind of progress on it. Kind of like this many days without accidents signs in a workplace. This is like this many days without falling off the wagon of this project. You know, I'm just doing something on it every day. Let me get to the demo. I always do a demo right at the beginning, just to show where I'm at. Let's do that. I think this is live. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. So there's a level selector. Actually, let me start with. Okay, here, hold on. Let me do a decent demo. Open. All right. That's weird. Oh, there it is. Cool. All right, so here's my scene. I'll hit play. It'll go full screen. Alright, so this is the screen you go to in the game when you want to select a level that you previously visited to return to. Alright, so there's a whole bunch of animation stuff going on there. I recently added scene loading in Unity. All the different places you can kind of go and visit are grouped into these files called scenes. And when you go to a level, it's actually loading a different scene than the one that you're in currently. So right now I'm on the level loader scene. I'm going to go to the closet scene. Okay, so it loaded like some token bullshit level that I created. It's not a real level actually, it's just a scene that's got something recognizable in it. So then I added in recently the ability to navigate back to the level selector, hit escape here, and I'm back there in the level selector. And it loaded really, really fast, which was nice. I don't expect the levels to load fast, not the real ones. Got all kinds of shit in them, but this scene here, I do want it to be pretty responsive. So let me pick a different place, and then I hit enter. It doesn't work. There's some kind of error. I know what the error is. I could fix the error in kind of a quick way, but there's something more fundamentally wrong about how I'm using my objects, and I want to correct it today. So this session, it may get a little bit computer sciencey. There won't be like a ton of game screens and stuff in it. I'll be going over this problem of data that's in one place becoming invalid while data that's in another place remains valid, and the combination of those two sets of data working with each other causes issues. So here it's complaining, one of my objects, it says that some transform object is no longer available, and I believe this is just simply because the scene is unloaded and there's a static variable someplace, a static scope variable someplace that's referencing an object that's been unloaded from the scene, so it no longer works. So last night and this morning when I was at coffee mulling things over, and again on my lunch break, I kind of thought a little bit about not how to fix this bug. I can do that. I can fix that bug. But how to create some reusable code and best practices that are really easy for me to follow, so that I don't have to continue like debugging these types of problems. I like static variables. I like them a lot. I've been using them in some different ways. So if I go to my audio point pool, which is what was giving a complaint, there are some static variables in here. The ones that are problematic are the ones that refer to objects inside of the scene. So these audio points, they may still be sticking around. What is an audio point? But it's referring to a transform inside of it. That transform will be pointing to an object that was probably unloaded unloaded with the scene that I left, as would the audio source. Probably, I think. See, this is the problem that I get into. If I have to stop and think about each value that I've declared as static and whether or not it's going to stick around, I'll make mistakes. I'll be thinking like, well, I think I instanced this audio source inside of the object at one point, so therefore it should be valid for it to stick around after the scene loads. But I'll be wrong because the audio source actually got reference to some object in the scene that was unloaded, and then there'll be some weird bug, and I'll have to think about it. I don't want to think about bugs like this. I just want to pick a simple way to do it that if I follow it all the time, I just want to think that hard, and these bugs won't come up, or when they do, it'll be so clear and obvious what I need to do. I won't waste time on it. So I came up with the idea of a scene scoped singleton. Hey, Donoxy. Yeah, so I came up with really a bad portmanteau. Yeah, I was thinking sort of a Japanese pronunciation when I saw that, like trying not to stress one syllable over another. But I don't know where you're from. Where are you from? Boom. So I came up with a terrible name for this. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with it, but I was going to do Scengleton. From a country. Yeah, it looks horrible. So I played with some different names. I thought it's, let's see, Sublime. No, this is not my favorite IDE, but it's the one that comes with Unity, Visual Studio Community Dumbass Edition. They call it Scengleton, but that's already redundant, so it's kind of stupid in its own way. I'm just gonna call it Scengleton. That's stupid too. Scengleton. That's what I think I'll stick with. And I'll just pronounce it like Singleton, but I'll know that it's a singleton with scene scope. Okay. Trouble with this yesterday, but it shouldn't be that hard. I should be able to do a generic class. So, let's see. Let's get this. Singleton is the right name, and I'm doing a play on words because it's a singleton that has a lifetime of just one scene, so it should go out of scope when a scene unloads. I'll try that. That should be. But you are right. That would be the correct spelling of it. I think this is where I had trouble before. So all I was going to try to do is just cast. Can I just cast? Why can I not cast? Oh. No, that should work. Oh, wait a minute. No, I see the problem. Okay. Well, this can just be... So weird. There. That should do it. Okay. So the other thing I need to do is okay, let me do some pocket design. Donoxy, do you write code? Let's see what goes. What kind of code do you write? that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, my day job is engineering manager for a group that makes web apps. So, React, JavaScript. Okay, so this we need an interface too. Okay. So it's a game called the Godkiller, which is a top-down puzzle-solving adventure game. And currently, I'm focused on the level loading screen, and I drilled down into a problem with Scengletons where I wanted to have them reset themselves when I go between scenes, so I have less problems keeping track of static variables. Lambdas with constructors. Oh yeah, you mean like that? Yeah, I like that. Okay. Yeah, I think and maybe you're a JavaScript guy too, but from my JavaScript work, I really like the code to be a little more compact than the typical C# standards. So like they'll always want to do, if there's a function, like have the base of the function go down an extra line, even if it's really just a simple one-liner. Okay, so what am I doing with that? Let me think. Where is it? So yeah. That's what I wanted. Okay. Oh. Just say that oh man, you had to ask me if the game runs. Oh shit. Hello? Hi there. Yeah, I'm just set on that. So I guess cancel that out. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. All right, thank you. All right, yeah. So I've got, in this project that we're in right now, I've got just the level loader. I can demo that for you a little bit. The game itself, you'd have to go back to some earlier streams to see it, really. Because basically my computer crashed. I'm sort of like rebuilding the project, am copying over code as I need it. But let me see. What's the warning here? Oh, it's an abstract class, so therefore, go private. Okay. Here, let me build it. I'll show you at least the level selector thing. Yeah, so I was trying to do some stuff with like Dropbox and kind of automatically syncing my code across different machines, and I would have the project on 3 different machines and try to use it on all 3 machines, and I screwed up something in the build, and I thought, like, I really wanted to optimize the project files anyways and get them so that they build a little bit faster. So I just thought, I'll just start over with a new project and I'll just kind of copy code in as I get further along from the old code base. But in this new code base, I've just got the hallways, the level selector. I'll demo that for you. No, I've got Git too, but it's kind of like I don't know, whatever, maybe I didn't do enough Git commits, like maybe it got screwed up and then I did a Git commit, and it's something like that. It was just not easy to revert back to a useful previous point with Git. I mean, I could take the old project and spend maybe a day or so and just get it to work, but this I might as well use the opportunity to restructure it. So. But anyways, this is the level selector. It has only got right now like 6 levels in it, but I did some earlier tests to make sure it works if I've got, hundreds of thumbnails in it. And the thumbnails load on demand, and you're just supposed to go up and down, pick the one you want, and then once you pick it, the animation that it plays is designed to also function as a progress meter. So if the level took a long time to load, then that animation you saw would just kind of have you sink into the tunnel much more slowly as the level loaded. So this went to some token scene to use to test the level loading. Hit escape and it goes back, but because I have this issue with my static variables referencing other objects that have been unloaded out of the scene, there's an error now. So if I try to select something, some things are hosed. So basically I'm trying to reference objects that have been destroyed. And I'm going to fix that, but I don't want to just fix that. I want to create like a way of using static data in classes without thinking too much about it. And that's what the idea of the Scengleton was about. So for any object I want to be a singleton, I'll have it derived from singleton t. I also need to do t like that. I always forget syntax when I switch between languages. Okay. So this might be like singleton mono behavior. Then I want it to derive from mono behavior. I'm wondering if this would be better without generics. Let me make another one. No, I with the generics, but it doesn't have to. No. Okay. So I could do. Here's my class that I want to use it with. Behavior. I could just do Scengleton. Some class. This grocery delivery is going to come pretty quick. It won't be free. I think I'll start off with Steam into Windows and Mac, and then depending on how it goes, I'm trying to leave the way open for console, but not necessarily planning to do console at this point. I'd have to get a little bit of momentum going on PC and Windows before, on Mac and Windows before I went further. Well, I don't know. Linux. I suppose I could. I guess it's one of those things. If it feels like it's easy to do it, and it's just kind of like a cost-benefit analysis. So if it looks like, I'm going to get 1,000 new users by working on this for an extra month to get it working well on Linux, then okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. So it'll be some kind of analysis like that, I think. Whereas Windows and Mac it's pretty clear to me that it'll be worth the time. Not to lock out Linux users, but yeah. I went through this before. I have a game called Drod that I made a long time ago, and we released it on Windows, Mac, and Linux. And it wasn't bad to release it on Linux, but there weren't many Linux users. I think somebody else did all the work for the Linux port, if I'm honest. So it wasn't like I went through a lot of pain getting it to Linux. Yeah. So the company that I used to own and I founded is called Caravel Games, and there's a bunch of games here that I worked on about half of these. So this was like the first one I made. There's the second one, and here another guy was yeah sure. Here I'll put it in the chat window. Yeah, I might miss you when you get back because I'm gonna sign off. I've got a grocery delivery coming. But hopefully I'll run into you again sometime. I'm usually on in the evenings. I'll probably be on tomorrow evening about the same time. Yeah. Good to meet you. All right. Carry on in good style. Stopping the stream now.